It found me and beat my withdrawals. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Gino or Gino off the Hyperreal forum, where they took Kava Kava. And here's the full report details. Alright, so here we finally got a report covering Kava Kava. I talked about this before in a story time with my experience of it, and we did have an episode of why substances suck on it. But here's finally a trip report of it. And this was just posted, which cool to see that it's still being used as a useful tool. But for me personally, I haven't had kava in a long time, and I don't recall it being very recreational. But that doesn't mean there isn't any effects, especially for medicinal applications. This one today is a good example, as this user built a tolerance with codeine, having withdrawals from it. They wanted to see if Kava Kava could help out, and short answer is, yes it does. Kava Kava isn't necessarily an opiate. It's noted to be a downer with impacts on GABA and ion channels, possibly some other activity, but typically effects are mild, providing mostly relaxation. But depending on your state, it can relieve side effects and symptoms going on. You'll just see here. I'm sure you'll enjoy this, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Kava Kava found me this year. I drank it 4 times, 3 times with the Marin variant, and once something else. 30 grams, 15 grams, 25 grams, and 33 grams. The first time with water, 3 15-minute rinses, soaking the material for 5 minutes before each wash. A small amount of water for every 15 grams of product. The solvent temperature was between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius. The third rinse was unnecessary in my opinion. There was some effect. It's worth mentioning that I was taking codeine frequently at the time and developed withdrawal symptoms. On the first day of withdrawal, I made my first Kava Kava. To my surprise, in addition to the effects of this exotic plant, my withdrawal symptoms were cured. This gave me food for thought. The second attempt, 15 grams, was also made with water. Aside from numbing my mouth, I didn't notice any psychoactive effects. The third time was 25 grams of the stuff in water. Aware of the interaction with opiates, I took it after a month-long binge of codeine, just before a trip to the Netherlands. It worked as needed, and I set off on my journey healthy. So far, the last time was 33 grams of Kava Kava, but a different variety, Pawaza. I used oat milk for the rinse, thanks to advice from the forum. I don't use cow's milk. It gives me a stomachache afterwards. I don't know how much of a difference the Pawaza made, or how stronger effects milk had instead of water, but it was more intense. The method of administration may also have an impact. I approached it like vodka, trying to drink the rinse as quickly as possible. The effect is more intense and liberating. It might be that sipping it like wine will have a different effect. A topic for further development. I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but at least for me, Kava Kava relieves opiate withdrawal. I recently found out myself, twice,